You've reached the office of Alaska State Senator Shelley Hughes. Please leave your name, number, and a brief message. We will return your call as soon as possible. Thank you for calling. Bye.
Leaving a name, number, and a brief message does nothing for the public that needs to talk to you about something. Just for your information. Thank you. I hope to call back and actually reach your representative. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and make a different call.
Hello, your call has reached the Wasilla City Clerk's office. We are unable to take your call at this time. However, please leave your name, number, and a brief message, and we'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Thank you.
Leaving a name and a number and a brief message does nothing for the public to be able to speak with one of our representatives. I hope to call back on a later date and actually reach a representative. Thank you.
Thank you for contacting the City of Wasilla. Please listen closely to the following menu options. For the Police Department, press 1. For the Finance Department, including purchasing, sales tax, and questions about business licensing, press 2. For Human Resources, press 3. For Public Works, press 4. For the Clerk's Office, press 5. For the Mayor's Office, press 6. For Planning, press 7. For the Curtis D. Menard Memorial Sports Center, press 8. And for the Library, press 9.
Thank you for calling the City of Wasilla Human Resources Office. For information on current job openings, please visit our website at www.cityofwasilla.com. To contact the Human Resource staff, please press 1. City of Wasilla Human Resources, this is Yana. How can I help you?
Did you say Shauna?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Shauna. Nice to meet you.
Oh, sorry, Donna, with a Y.
Hey, Donna?
Y, with a Y, Y-A-N-A, Yana.
Oh, Yana. Oh, wow, that's cool. Thank you. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. What can I help you with?
I was looking to contact the county commissioners and to know some of their names.
Oh, okay, for specifically the City of Wasilla?
Well, yeah, or the county that Wasilla is located in.
Oh, okay, well, the City of Wasilla is located inside of the Matsu Borough.
Oh, it's called it's a borough there?
Yes, we don't have counties here.
Okay, I think I seen that when I was looking up. It's Matt with a dash Sue, right?
SU, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Or Matt, just because it's his full name.
Okay, thank you, because I was wondering, I couldn't find a county name, so it's a borough name, and that's Matsu. Does Matsu borough have the county commissioners?
I'm not sure. They're their own entity with like a different location. And they run things like I wouldn't be able to tell you the answer to that, to be honest.
So is your human resources office like the equivalent of a county commissioner then?
No, no, not at all. Our human resources officers is just for employees. We kind of take care of employees. Our clerk's office takes care of like the council members.
Okay, because I was like looking, it says city commissions, and there's Airport Advisory Commission, Planning Commission, Parks and Recreation Commission, and Special Purposes Committees. What does the Special Purposes Committee do?
Well, I'm trying to think. I don't know that there's any right now, but I think it's for the purpose of if we have like a special event for which we need a committee, then it can be formed for that.
Oh, I see. So like if there's any special event, you can actually form a committee to discuss the comings and goings and the plans.
From what I understand, yes.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm trying to look for this is the human resources officer. Is there a city manager?
There is not. We don't have a city manager for the city of Wasilla.
Okay.
Who are you trying to reach, or like what question do you have that you need help with?
I've actually been on the phone with a couple Wasilla employees today, and it wasn't looking very good except for the clerk. The clerk was actually the only one that actually was shining, you know what I mean, as for lack of a better word. There was an Ashley that was for the answered the phone for the public works, and she was unethical. She was acting for private gain, and she actually hung up on me because I was asking too good of questions. I'm trying to get the best service I can possibly get from the city of Wasilla, and I'm kind of actually a little bit scared to even speak up because I'm afraid that I'm going to get hung up again, and then there would be further egregious actions, and I would have to report back to my people with more unfriendly relationship type information for them, which
well, first of all, I'm really sorry that you have had such a terrible experience with us so far. That's not okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, the thing is that, we're living in there's a way different day and age than like even 20 years ago, and we're kind of like in a digital era where everyone, the right of the people to record their public service agents in the course of their public duties is a First Amendment right covered under free press. Also the right to free speech and expression. So there's many agents in our nation that have actually in the union that is supposed to be representing our nation that have lost their way and are not, they're basically unregulated and just doing everything for their own private gain instead of serving the public for the sole benefit of the public like they were supposed to, but I think that the reason why I was calling today was to bridge the gap and to create better relationships between the public and the people in which the public agencies are to serve, because public service is a public trust requiring each employee to place loyalty to the Constitution, ethical practices, and the people, the rights of the people. And There's just been something happen in Wasilla, Alaska, where the chief of police actively, basically broke the law, placed his hands on somebody that wasn't supposed to have their hands placed on them, and instead of being open to redressing these grievances for the people, I'm getting reports that the employees or agents at Wasilla City are screening phone calls, coming up with excuses as to why the representatives can't be at the phone to be held accountable. It seems like the Wasilla City is backing up a wrong with more wrongs, and it's like doubling down on STUPID, for a lack of a better term. We need relations between the public and the city of Wasilla, because not only locals are in Wasilla. There's many people from the public, which it's not like I'm telling you anything new. There's a lot of people that come through Wasilla that are just tourists coming to see the town. And in the video where the chief of police basically acted for his own private gain and put his hands on a member of the public that was only recording and standing in a public area, which is both his rights to do. Instead of all this, in the video there was a lack of signs, actually, not signs. There was a lack of signs. And then when we speak about signs, we have to be mindful that the public is allowed, and not allowed, but have a right. The public has an inherent right to be in public and to be able to use the public for their own private gain. This was one of the premises of our country. Our country wasn't like North Korea, where our people are not allowed to do several things. The premise of our country was that the public was endowed with a certain set of inalienable rights, human rights, as a matter of fact, you don't necessarily have to be born in Alaska to have the rights of the people. You don't necessarily have to. You have to be a mere human to be afforded human rights in our country, and the chief of police did not showcase that fact, which is a big problem. But at the same time, it's something that he can be retrained. You see what I'm saying? It's not like these people can't be educated, because the training of the last 20 to 40 years has been one where there wasn't the digital camera on everybody's cell phone and everybody's hip. They didn't have, 20 years ago, they didn't have Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, what is the other ones? TikTok and some other ones. They didn't have all these platforms because before you would have to ask a news agency to run your story, but now the people have a ability to run their own story on Facebook, and within an hour, 10,000 Americans are able to see the egregious actions of this police chief in Wasilla, Alaska. You know what I mean? And it doesn't make Wasilla, Alaska look good, which is a problem for the public and the people who live in and around Wasilla, especially for you guys that are working, for you guys that are serving the public in Wasilla, Alaska. It doesn't make you guys look good when, like you, miss, you weren't the one that grabbed somebody outside the public building. You know what I mean? So you, for all intents and purposes, aren't the one that did anything wrong, but here you are having to answer phones to people that are seeking redressal of this grievance. And you've done a very good job. You answered the public line with your employee name, and you, for all intents and purposes, were forthcoming and helpful. And I didn't experience that out of the Public Works person. I think her name was Ashley. And then there was one other that I got her name, but I'd have to, play back and find out exactly what it was. I couldn't quite understand it, which is a hearing problem, is not the delivery problem of the name. But when I was trying to tell that lady about Ashley's egregiousness and her unethical behavior, she instantly goes, "Oh, I'm going to need to put you on hold." And then instead of asking if I need to be on hold, she just put me on hold. And that's a sign that she thinks that she owns the public instead of serves for the sole benefit of the public. I hung up because the public do not have to be on hold when they don't, there's plenty of people that work for or that serve for Wasilla that could either do what she's needing to do, but that instead of serving conscientiously, they come up with excuses like, "Oh, they're in a meeting." That's an old excuse that has been tried and tried and tried again, which the people are not very happy with. We're tired of calling to be represented by representatives who have been placed in a position to represent the people, and then all they get is an answering machine telling them to subvert their Fifth Amendment by leaving a name and a number. And then, what, you guys are just going to call us back when you want to? That doesn't sound like public service. That actually sounds like public disservice. I believe this stuff is very important. It's the premise of this country, and the ethical standards have been written before most of us have been born. So the purpose of my phone call, the aim of what I was attempting to do was to bridge the gap between the public service agents and the public that the chief of police there in Wasilla actually conducted. He's the one that made the gap. There was a guy there recording in public, which is his right to do, standing in public, which is his right to do. There was no signs that says that he can't, and then which leads me to also want to have the conversation that just because public service agents want to keep people out, that chief of police and his staff do not have the right or the duty, the ability, or the authority to go putting signs up that keep the public out of public areas. And around the Wasilla Police Department, there was no fencing, no signage that says restricted area, which would be egregious even if it was, because that area is a public area, open to the public. If the public wants to go back to the back of the police department and inspect police cars to make sure that the police are taking care of the public's police cars, the public has a right to go back there and inspect those cars. This is called full disclosure, full transparency, and it pertains with accountability and other Freedom of Information Act, 1978, Ethics in Government Act. These things are important to the people, and I, for one, expect Wasilla and its staff and employees, officers or employees, agents or employees, to uphold the ethical standards as well as the law. So, which was not showcased in this video that was captured by a member of the public using his right to record his public service agents in the course of their public duties. I just would like to bring this to Wasilla, the city of Wasilla's attention, so that you guys that haven't done wrong can showcase better and, bring new light to Wasilla, which had been tarnished by this. I believe his name is William Bill Rap something. Do you know his name?
The
Chief of Police, William
Chief
Bill
of Police.
something, Rap something.
Yeah.
What was his last name?
Yeah, our chief.
Yeah, what was his last name?
Yeah.
Miss?
Yeah, Raps.
Rapson. Oh, okay, Rapson. Yeah, that was it. I couldn't remember whether it was Rasmussen or Rap. I knew it was Rap something. Yeah, this is. I'm hoping that it can be redressed accordingly, and that maybe this. I mean, the chief of police. He seems. I've seen a story about his father being a police officer in Wasilla, or some guy of that type, who seems to be had a upstanding record and everything, and I believe this chief of police for Wasilla, this Rapson, he might not be a bad person, but had showcased bad skills. He might not have to be terminated from his position, but probably educated, redressed, and maybe reassigned a different position. If he showcases any more of these egregious behaviors, it would be a duty to terminate him from any public service position. And we hope that don't happen, because we want to see him do well. As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Well, I do definitely appreciate your concerns and what you have said, and we do have a system for disciplining and all that for our employees.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Are you as an employee scared of the chief of police?
I have no reason to be scared of him, no.
Okay. Because I talk to a lot of agents across our country that seem to feel like they don't have the authority or the position to do something about some of these things. And I just hope that that's not the case, because all it takes for evil to prosper is for good men to do nothing. So, if you are in a position to stop bad people from doing bad things, I would hope that you exercise that position for the good of the people and the good of the community which you serve. I get told often that people don't think that that's above their pay grade, or that that's something that they're not within their jurisdiction to perform, which I don't believe one bit whenever I'm told that. For instance, you're a human resources specialist who is in charge of human resources and the comings and goings of employees and agents within Wasilla, and this agent has tarnished Wasilla. I feel scared for the public that go there as a tourist, walk up to the police station just to look around. And there's no signs.
Interested in that, yeah.
There's no signs, and all of a sudden the police chief comes out here, "Get out of here! Put your hands behind your back!" and then instantly tries to take a simple guy, simply exercising his rights, into custody, and did jail the man.
Yeah. What is your name, sir?
That is irrelevant. I'm a member of I am one of the people that have a right to redress my grievances with my government. And I see things. I'm not sure if you're familiar with YouTube or Facebook, but I'm probably sure you probably are pretty familiar with YouTube and Facebook. But these tools can be used by your agency to make sure that your agents are properly, conducting their services with the conscientious performance of their duties. I had on one of the ladies I was speaking with, it was the second lady that was egregious and unethical. She was attempting to say that she had other customers to speak with, and that's highly unethical because government has never been a business. It's always been a public trust. Public service is a public trust. You can find that under 5 CFR 2635.101, as well as your ethical standards of the state of Alaska. The public service agents are supposed to be serving the public with the sole benefit of the public, and not to be acting for private gain for agent or agency. And this has been showcased in Wasilla, which Wasilla is a very beautiful place. There's a lot of beautiful people there. And I think that the people deserve and also can expect better treatment than this. If a tourist was walking outside the police department, saw no signs, there had been no fences, and they were walking around and then got accosted in this manner and assaulted in this manner, like this chief of police thinks that he just has the authority to do, he's either been improperly trained, or he was properly trained and acting above and beyond that training. So these are big problems. It's a problem. It's a problem that can be fixed. The relationships should be one of, because in our country you should always be getting more rights, never less. Any lesser of a right is a taking of a right, because a partial taking of a right is a full taking of a right. It says this in the Constitution. It says this in our documents that were written before we were born. Most of us in this country. So these things are very important. They wouldn't be written if they weren't important. And like I would implore you as a human resources agent to read 5 CFR 2635.101, basic obligation of public service. 5 CFR 2635.102 is the definitions for anything that you would want to, understand in that first, I believe that's federal regulations. These things are important because without trust, the agency known as the City of Wasilla would be acting overboard of their, their duties that they were supposed to be doing. If the public cannot trust you guys, then distrust breeds all sorts of bad things like violence. And what do you call that? Vandalism. You know what I mean? If the public doesn't trust the government that is acting around the public takes up a defensive posture instead of that of an inclusive posture. You see what I'm saying? And that's not what the American people need. The American people do not need to be feeling defensive against the people that are there to serve and protect them. That's a big no-no in our country. That's against every premise of our country, from the founding fathers and everything else. And the Constitution is very much alive and well, and is a human document based on human rights, not rights that can be granted or taken away by some government. Also, the Declaration of Independence outlines the fact that the people of this nation can abolish the government if it becomes radicalized against the people. And that's exactly what's been happening. That's exactly what people with cameras are showcasing all across our country. And the public service agents have been improperly trained. They've been training themselves to act like they own the public, like they just get to. And that's exactly why the majority of our nation has gone defensive and have picked up their cameras and started recording their public service agents. So, you know, if Wasilla wants to know why people are walking around Wasilla recording everything in public, now you know exactly why. Because the public service agents have caused distrust, a gap between the public service agents and the public, and the people are not happy about Mr. William Bill Rapson.
Well, I definitely appreciate you calling and bringing this up. I do have to go.
I bet.
Yeah, and I will try to do my best to do what is in my power to do.
Okay, I'll be keeping an eye on Wasilla, and I'll be seeing if there's any honorable mention as towards these concerns. And I hope that when somebody's out there recording in their public area that we have a right to record in, that this chief of police refrains himself and never acts in this egregious manner again, that he doesn't dishonor the people of Wasilla ever again, hopefully, for his sake, for